Hi everyone, welcome. I'm Michelle and today's art and business coaching, clients and cash, creativity. What are other C words I could use? Confidence. I'm gonna give you some tips and techniques. So this is my YouTube channel that is all about that. If you like what you're seeing, throw a comment in or subscribe so I will share more tips based upon where you are at. So today's conversation, let's see, we've got Poe the dog there. He may turn around. We've got the wheelbarrow there because today it was sunny in Michigan and did some yard work, so that always feels good. Today I'm going to talk about this cup. This is a drinking glass that I made. My business is glass blowing. I run a successful business here in Dearborn, Michigan, and it's super cool. We have a gallery, we have a manufacturing space, and tomorrow is the grand opening. We just opened a bar so we can host events in this space. So I am very diversified. I've been through it all. I have tried it all, and I can tell you what works and what doesn't and why. So today I'm going to talk about art fairs because summer's coming up and I know people are applying to art fairs. Some are gearing up from art fairs. Some are getting their tent ready. And I want to show you one of the, it's not really a trick, but just the technique that I use to sell. I personally do not like selling people on my work. I am of the school, if something speaks to me, I'm just gonna purchase it, I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna ask the artist about it. It speaks to me, and so I'm interested in it. However, there are other people that are shopping and they wanna know the story. They wanna know what it is about the piece that they should buy it. And there is no harm in telling them a story. So I'm going to use this drinking glass to demonstrate how you can talk about something without feeling like you're salesy or marketing or pushing it on them. So I am more or less introverted. I'm happy to talk about technique to other glass blowers, but to the general public, they don't really know all that goes into it. So I don't want to give them this huge long description that's going to bore them. So for this particular cup, what I can do also is take the focus off of me and the story I might have around it and put it on the vessel. So I'm going to create something that they want to purchase and tell them why. So for this particular cup, it's kind of an amber. It's got some gold reflection. So I can talk about the color technique that's on there. But what is really interesting to this piece is the design element. And this is not something that I can do alone. I need an assistant to make this. So this particular assistant heated up the color so they could be added in these designs. Now this here is interesting because the color was started here and then it zigzags down the piece. So to have an assistant bring that style bit, they need to be very fluid. I need to be very clear in what's happening so that they can gently guide, or I'm guiding the pipe, but they can gently follow me as I'm pulling the pipe around. So you get this cool swirl. Now that makes each one unique. I could do 5 of these in a row and they're gonna all have some variety to them. On the back side here, there's another line that comes from the bottom and goes up, comes down and over and ends there. And then the 3 dots that are added. So if I were doing an art fair, what we've noticed is walking around your booth and picking up items and kind of holding them and just kind of looking at them yourself is when people become interested and they ask you questions. If you're sitting in a chair and you're not looking like you care anything about them, you're reading a book, you're looking at your phone, you're not engaging, why would the customer engage as well? So it's a little tricky if you are not a good seller, if it makes you really uncomfortable to work an art fair. What you do is you hire someone. You either trade them some work or you get a high school student, you get someone, a retired someone or other that loves people. I guarantee there is someone who loves your work and would love to stand in your booth and sell. Because I can answer questions all day long about the techniques and how things are made and how sturdy they are and what the benefits are. But what I don't want to do is talk about myself and talk about why I made this cup. And if I talk about technique, that's something that people can sink their teeth into, but I can also have someone else in the booth who's talking about me. They can talk about my history, they can talk about my background. Yeah, we have construction going on. They can talk about things that the customer is interested in without meeting me personally. Then if they want to meet me, maybe I'm sitting off on the side somewhere, the person running the booth can come and get me. Now I know when you're starting out, that seems like a big expense. You're like, no way, I'm in a different city, I'm in a different town, I don't know what to do. Why would I do that? I guarantee if you reach out to the show promoters or you put an ad on Facebook, I'm going to this town looking for someone to trade some work and to assist in selling, it will make a world of difference. And I know this from fact. I've watched it happen. I've seen people have a collaborator in the booth with them that's talking about the work. You can give them a paper towel, like for us, for glass, you can paper towel and Windex, and they can just walk through the booth and be cleaning the glass and just talking to people as they come through. Even if it's to say, wow, I really love this cup. Look at the cool colors. This artist is so talented. Isn't it amazing? Which one do you like? Just pulling them in brings in other people, like it's herd mentality. What's going on in that booth? I want to go in there because there's a bunch of people in there. So it is worth your effort to think about that, how you'll pull them into your booth and what you can say. There's nothing worse than walking through an art fair and all the artists sitting, hanging out on their phone, reading a book. It doesn't work. You could be chatting with friends on the side, but you definitely want to look up and acknowledge people. And this is really hard for a lot of artists and introverts. So if you're thinking of doing art fair in the summer, give this some thought, whether it's a big art fair that costs hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars to get into, or if it's at your local church craft fair, maybe it only costs like $45 or something to get in. You want to think about how you're selling, how you approach people, because your work should speak for that itself, but it doesn't always. I'll give you another quick example of that. I have a staff member who's taking a jewelry class, and I don't have any jewelry on right now, but she made this necklace, and she's like, oh my gosh, it took me 9 hours to make this, plus the stone, plus all the silver. And so in a gallery, she'd be willing to pay $65, $85 for that. But now that she understands all the time and energy that went into it, she's like, holy smokes, this is like $250 or above, considering how much time and energy it took to make. So people do not know. You have to educate them on your craft. They don't know how it's made. They don't know how often you make it. They don't know your story. So if you're not comfortable with selling your story, find someone who is, and I guarantee you will do an amazing show. You'll have a much better time, and you will come home with some empty boxes, which means sales. So hope that was helpful. If you do an art fair and you have success and you learn these techniques, for sure let me know. I want to hear about your journey, and we'll see you on the next video. Have a great one. Again, Michelle with Art Plus Business, and leave a comment below. Subscribe to the channel for more content. Have a great day.